Okay, let's unpack this. Imagine playing a survival horror game where, your instinct, your need to defeat an enemy, that could actually be the very thing that seals your fate, where killing actively makes the other enemies stronger. It just fundamentally flips everything, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's the wild idea behind Cronos, the New Dawn. It's a PS5 sci-fi survival horror game from Bloober Team.
Yeah, it really does. It challenges, well, decades of just muscle memory from playing games. This isn't your standard shoot and loot deal. It forces you into some really ruthless tactical thinking,
Yeah.
extreme caution. And the heart of it, the thing that changes everything, is what they're calling the merge mechanic.
Right. So our mission here in this deep dive is to figure out exactly how that system works. We're looking at insights straight from the source, Bloober Team's game director, Jima, and the lead combat designer, Shamilan Batin. They talked about it in a dev diary and a PlayStation blog post. Hopefully by the end we can shed some light on how you might actually navigate this completely new way of thinking, and maybe, just maybe, turn the odds in your favor.
What's so fascinating, I think, is how this merge totally shifts the power dynamic. See, the enemies, they call them orphans. They aren't just, dumb targets. When one goes down, other orphans nearby can literally absorb the dead body. And when they do, they evolve. They get stronger, tougher, even get whole new attack patterns. So taking out a threat, you're not just clearing the area. You might actually be feeding the next much bigger threat.
Whoa, wait. So killing an enemy can genuinely make things harder? That's such a stark contrast to pretty much every other game out there. How do you even start to push back against that? I mean, how do you stop it from happening?
Well, it forces you to rethink combat entirely. It's not just about where you stand anymore. It's almost like choreographing death. Controlling the arena becomes absolutely vital. Kronos often puts you in these really carefully designed environments, right? And since merging needs those fallen bodies, well, spatial awareness is everything. You need to think about spacing out your kills, maybe luring enemies away from bodies, and you have to be ready to interrupt a merge attempt, like right in the middle of a fight, aggressively. Yeah. Every corner, every piece of cover, it all becomes part of your strategy. Okay, that sounds like it needs way more than just good aim. It sounds like strategic resource management is key too, and really thinking about your loadout for this specific threat. How do your weapons and tools actually play into that, beyond just, dealing damage? Exactly. You've got a whole arsenal, but it's about picking the right tool for the job, not just the one with the biggest numbers. So for instance, they mentioned a javelin. Rapid fire, good for managing crowds, chipping away health, buying you time. But then you've got something like the hammer. Big damage, close range, that's ideal for finishing off a tough one quickly, denying that merge opportunity altogether. Switching weapons fast, based on range, effectiveness, that's crucial. And managing your resources before, during, after a fight, that really dictates your whole approach.
Hmm.
Are you going to craft more ammo for an aggressive push? Or maybe health packs if you want to play it safer, more defensively? The game gives you that control, that agency, to decide what fits your style. Every bullet, every health pack, it's a choice with consequences.
And it's not just the merge mechanic, right? The game also throws different kinds of enemies at you.
Yeah.
How do those different types interact with this whole system? Do they make it even more complicated?
Oh, yeah. You'll face these quick runners trying to get in close for melee. Then you've got rangers taking shots from a distance. And the big bruisers hulking things meant to soak up damage, drain your resources. Those are best dealt with maybe up close, like with a shotgun blast. But you have to be careful. They're big bodies. Prime merge fuel for the smaller, faster orphans if you don't take them down cleanly. And then there are the doppelgangers.
Doppelgangers.
Yeah, apparently a really nasty type that can actually mimic your weapons.
Yeah.
Makes them incredibly dangerous, especially if they manage to merge. Plus, they throw in other enemies, maybe sneakier ones, traps, just to keep changing the pace, keep you guessing.
Okay, so pulling this all together, what's the big takeaway here? Cronos. The New Dawn seems to take survival horror combat, flips it completely upside down. Every single kill becomes this major strategic decision. Managing resources, ammo versus health, and just knowing your surroundings, that spatial awareness, seems absolutely critical for survival.
Yeah, exactly. And if you look at the bigger picture, this merge system, combined with all those different enemy roles, it means figuring out what to shoot, when to shoot it, and maybe most importantly, where you fight that battle. That all becomes just as important, maybe more important, than how good your aim is. The game really seems to put the power in your hands to adapt your playstyle, your loadout. Whether you want to go in guns blazing or play defensively, every choice matters.
So here's something to think about then. If nearly every enemy you defeat can potentially be absorbed, creating an even stronger, more dangerous foe, how does that fundamentally change your definition of survival in a horror game? And what does it truly mean to win an encounter when winning might just set you up for a harder fight?